Welcome and welcome back. Welcome to Seek to See podcast. My name is Shonda. I am your gracious host. Okay. This is another thought provoking episode. Okay. If you'd like to donate to the channel, I have my email in the description box below. Okay. Please feel free to visit my other channel, Seek to See Tarot. I am there as well. Okay. We are going to be talking about dun dun dun. Does a man's sexual body count matter to the mature woman? Yeah. It's a question that is asked, and I think as women, the mature woman or mature women, we don't we really don't answer that question because we don't want to offend men. We don't want to offend the men that we're dating, that we're married to, or we don't want to offend the men in our lives. So when that question comes up, if it ever does, we never really want to answer it. Okay, it's almost like it's taboo. But the flip side of that is that men always want to know a woman's sexual body count. But they always have a problem, men always have a problem with a woman knowing his sexual body count. And we as women have a habit of putting our requirements aside for men because we feel as though if I require this man to have a, should I say a decent, whatever that number may be, a decent body count, sexual body count, will that run him away? Will I run him away? Will I offend him? Will I find any good men out here who has not had umpteen sexual escapades? And what we do is we allow ourselves to be put on display, and our intimate secrets to be put on display, but we overlook the men or men's sexual indiscretions, as they would call them, as they would call them for us. We overlook them. We overlook theirs. Okay? And it's almost as if the old saying, men are going to be men and boys are going to be boys. But as women, we cannot move like men can move. But here's the reality behind that. There's no third species here. So if a man has a high body count, he is sleeping with other women. He's sleeping with other women. Unless he's sleeping with animals, I don't know. That's called then that's called bestiality. Then that's gross. He needs his head checked after, and then he's not even worthy of even being in a relationship because there's something wrong with him. Okay, so let's just put that right where it needs to be at. Okay, but we are so programmed as women and young women to lay a man's sexual discretions aside, where men are almost taught and coached into trying to reveal a woman's sexual indiscretions and secrets in order to figure out whether he wants to be with her or not, or whether she's marriage worthy or wife or worthy of being a wife. But we as women are programmed and taught to say, don't worry about it. He's just a man, or he's just a boy being a boy, a man being a man. And never, ever do we say, and I know most of us have said to ourselves, well, wait a minute. Why is it that he can go out and be a freak of the week and do all of these sexual indiscretions and have all this sex all over the place, but still look at in the upright and still be looked at as a king or an emperor or an upstanding man? How? Whereas women are looked at as whores, bed wenches, prostitutes. And I could make some other choice words, but I'm just being honest, okay? So we have to change the way we think, okay, ladies? I believe, in my honest opinion, we have to change the way we think, okay? Now, I'm not saying that we need to move and do what men do. Certainly not. Because there's some gross men out here. I wouldn't dare do what they do. Okay? And no. So I would not say go out here and have umpteen sex all over the place. Okay? But I would say pose those same questions. If those questions are being thrown out to you, throw those same questions out. Make it an even playing field. Now, here's my thing with that. So, okay, let me move in a different direction. But the question at the top of the discussion is, does a man's sexual body count matter to the mature woman? Well, it all depends on that woman and if she is mature. Okay? In my opinion. Okay? In my humble opinion. Okay? So I'm going to say yes and no. Okay? For some women, it doesn't matter. They don't care. You know, they don't care where he come from, who he's been screwing with, or how he's been moving. Just as long as he's a changed person and he is treating her well. That's how some women think. And it's some women out here that are so desperate that they don't care whether the man is even still having sex with other women while they are in a relationship with them. Okay? Or even having sex with men and women. Okay? So, that's why I say it depends. So, it depends on the woman if she's karmic. Okay? Low self-esteem, low confidence, and low vibrational. And I could name more, but I don't want to do that for the sake of time, okay? Because I only want to make this about 30 minutes. All right? So, most mature women a man's sexual body count does matter to her. Does. Most mature women, yes, it does matter. Because they understand that when a man has a high sexual body count, there are things that come with and situations that come with that high body count. Okay? They understand that. And as we get older and we figure out and we know that our body's changing, we know that our minds are changing, our kids are growing and leaving the house, and we know that we can't move the same like we used to in our 30s, early 30s and 20s and things of that nature. We know that, the reality is the body, I don't care how many vitamins you take, I don't care how many workout regimens you have, yes, you can live longer. And I don't care how much you eat. Well, yes, you can live longer, but the body is going to break down at some point, and you are going to be in that space where you have to deal with mortality. Okay? So with that said, we understand that a high body count comes with issues and problems that come along earlier than what they should. And more stress than what is allowed, than what should even be happening in your mature and late, and mid-age time, mid-age, area of where we are. Okay, ladies? What do I mean by that? When a man has a high body count, now I can't say, and I'm not saying not all, because if I say all, then it would be an invalid statement, and there will be at least one that is different. So I'm not going to say all. But most men who have a high body count, and I don't care who it is, most of them have multiple baby mamas, or have multiple women pregnant, or had them pregnant at one time, okay? Thus, they have a high number of children. Whether young or older, they have a high number of children, which comes with dysfunction. Because if you have a large amount of women, if a man impregnates, let me just give you an example, okay? If a man impregnates, let's just say 10 women, right? And he has not committed to any of those women, then how could he commit to the children? And let's just not even think about he's had multiple babies by a couple of the 10 women, okay? So he's not even committed. So that's where the dysfunction comes in at, okay? Another thing, there's going to be a large amount of child support. Okay? When a man has a high sexual body count. So first you got to deal with all, and I don't care how old, you got to deal with all these baby mamas. You got to deal with all of the issues with the kids that come along with the baby mamas. And most time when they have a high body count, these men still have younger children. They still have younger children. Okay? Most of them. All right? So there's child support still there. So you have a history of promiscuity. Okay, I hope I'm saying that right. Then you have dysfunction, family dysfunction. Then you have financial issues. When a man has a high sexual body count. Number 4, health issues. A lot of times when men have been a busybody, been for everybody, been in the streets, can't sit down, and all of a sudden they want to settle down and they have that high body count, a couple of things are happening sexually. ED, erectile dysfunction, has set in. Yeah. And number 2, sexual transmitted disease. Because if you're having that much sex all over the place, you're not fully protected all the time. Especially if you had 10 women pregnant, you ain't had no sexual, you ain't had no protection, none. Not at least with 10 women. You're getting where I'm going with this, right? Okay. So a lot is at play. A lot is at risk with a man who has a high sexual body count. Now, like I said, a lot of these men would portray this and ask that question to the woman, but the woman never asks these questions to the men. Because we're not taught to do so. Because we're so afraid that we're going to lose a man. You see? We're so afraid because it's been put into our minds that, oh, you're going to be old and not married and not have a man and this, that, and the third. Well, you know what? With this type of man right here with a high sexual body count and all this come with it, I don't want him. I don't want those headaches. Who wants those headaches? Who wants those headaches? Who? I know I certainly don't. Not at this age. Not at this age. I don't want those headaches. You see what I'm saying? I don't want those headaches. Because it's a lot of drama that I don't want to have to deal with. And I would rather be single, living in a cardboard box with 2 fish, 1 dead, before I have to go through all of this with somebody who has a sexual high body count. A high sexual body count. Okay? Let's keep going. Where we at? 18 minutes? Okay, good time. Good timing. Okay? Also, a man who's for everybody is not good for you spiritually, because he don't know whether he's coming or going to and fro. He cannot, all he knows is how to sexually please a woman and how to manipulate a woman into sex. A lot of times, those type of men do not know how to problem solve with a woman. All they know how to do is to use their magic stick. And thinking the magic stick is going to solve all of the problems, but it's not. They come in because that's what they're used to. That's what they've been doing. And so they come into your life. Now you're a grown, mature woman Okay, you understand what you do and do not want to deal with, and what you do and do not want. Here come this person come into your life, and you already peeping game, and they think, oh, okay, all I got to do is digmatize her, and you're saying, no, sweetheart, that ain't working. Because I've had better than you. Come better. Do better. You see. So they have no problem solving skills. And a lot of these men have lived off of nothing but women. Because they're used to manipulating, if that's a word. I just made that up. And being a narcissist and a game player to women. Okay? All right? So, a man who has a high sexual body count has no self-worth. He does not see any value in himself, because if he did, he will understand that his private area will not work forever for him, physically, mentally, and spiritually. He knows this. So he understands that I have to do something different. So I need to build my self-worth up in order for other people to see the worth in me, other than my sexual parts. But again, men who do this, who have high sexual body counts, all they're working with is just their sexual parts, and they have no self-worth. They have low self-esteem, okay? They do not know who they are. They have mama issues. They've been hurt. And some of them are struggling with their sexuality. And that's another reason why they have a high sexual body count. Okay? Mature women do not want a man that does not see himself as a king or an emperor. I'm going to say that again. Real mature women do not want a man who does not see himself as a king or an emperor. And when a man sees himself as a king or an emperor, he's going to move in such a way. What do I mean by that? He understands that a king or an emperor cannot have sex with everybody. He knows that. And furthermore, he understands that he does not want to have sex with everybody, because he understands his self-worth. He understands who he is. So he understands that he can't give himself to any and everybody. See what I'm saying? No woman, no real mature woman want a man who has no mystique about him. He has no self-worth. All he know is to shoot cum in every woman that he sees worthy. He sees worthy, because if you think about it, he don't even see worthy in himself. So these women that he is having sex with, come on now, it ain't that much. He ain't seeing that much worth in them either. So at the end of the day, let's look at it this way. And where I'm at, 25, and I'm going to close it out after I make this last point. If you have a man, okay, and he has impregnated 10 women, okay, and out of these 10 women, let's just say 3 out of the 10, he's impregnated those women multiple times, okay? A lot of times men, let me go back. He's impregnated these women multiple times, okay? And he has not solved any problems for these women, but he's impregnated all of them. There's no money. There's no way to take care of them. There's no commitment to the women. There's no commitment to the children. There's nothing. And a man with 10 that's impregnated 10 women and a few more on multiple occasions, how do you touch all of those babies and give them the attention that they need? How? Now, most would say, most men would try to evade and say, oh, it's the women's fault. They knew that he had all these other women before she got with him. Why would she lay up and have baby by him too? Why would this one? Why would that one? Why would this one? They get to all 10 of them, right? And nobody is putting the blame on who first? That man. Why? Because we've been programmed not to. We've been programmed to take the blame for everything as women, to carry everything on our backs and to relieve the men. We've been programmed that way. And really, you know who the problem is in this situation? The man is the problem. Because why does he have it in his head that it's okay to go and impregnate 10 women, to put his seed inside of 10 women that he know that he's not committed to, that he's not committed to the kids, and that he knows that he cannot care for financially, physically, spiritually, and mentally? Why? He's the problem. So more of the responsibility needs to lie on the men, more so the women. But if you ask a man, it's a different situation. Because if you look at it for what it is, he's not there, he has no self-control. To impregnate 10 women that you know you're not committed to, there's no self-control. He has no self-control. Little to no self-control at all. So, think about it, ladies. Does a man's sexual body count really matter to you? What say you? I don't know. Drop down in the comments and let me know what you think. Okay? I know I'm gonna get a lot of pushback for this one. Please like, subscribe, and comment, and share this video. I would love for you all to share it Because you know what? Here's the reality. We need to start changing the way we think first, and then it will start to transfer outside of us to other people. We have to. So I thank you all for coming and for taking the time out to watch. I love you all. If you'd like to donate to the channel, please do so. And it's only if you're led by Spirit to do so. And gratitude, Ashe. Namaste. Oh, there's a little clicker. Oh, here it is.